Hello. Oops. Let's make sure this is good to go. One second here. I didn't get my stream set up properly. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna give it since that was a rough start, I'm gonna give it 10 seconds of silence and then start again, so that way when I cut this for YouTube, it'll be fine. Alright. Hello everyone, my name is Corey, and I'm going to be taking a look at the Zweihander Grim and Perilous RPG. This is the second time I'm actually looking at it. The first time was taking a look at the materials that are on the Roll20 compendium, and this is in the Player's Handbook. If I just scroll down here, we can see that. Player's Handbook. And I'm going to be taking a look at this as I was given a copy of this PDF by Daniel Fox, the creator of Zweihander RPG. So I'm excited to dive in and have the option to look into this and learn more about it. Since I've previously looked at a lot of the stuff on the Roll20 compendium, I'm not going to do too much for things that I'm already familiar with, and this read through will probably look at some of the things that are further in the Player's Handbook, but we'll see. I might need to refresh myself on some things. With that said, let's dive in. First up, I really like the cover of this book. It's very cool. It's very dramatic. It's kind of spooky, but this is a really good cover for a book, especially for a fantasy, well, grim and perilous, but fantasy-ish setting. I think it's pretty cool. I think it really brings through the aesthetic of the game. Cool. So it looks like we've got a nice intro page. I like the outside. I like the border of this page. That's very cool. We've got like little bird up there, other figures, some publishing stuff. Got some credits. Cool stuff there. Love to see that. And table of contents. So let's see what's going on here. Let's figure out what's going on in this. That is oh my gosh, there's so many. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. There's so much. You do love a good table of contents, though. Okay, let's see what's going on in here. So chapter 1, introduction, we don't need to worry about that. How to play, we already looked at that. We looked at the fortune, misfortune, all that kind of stuff. Character creation, I think we looked at a fair bit of that. Alignment, I don't know if we got that far. I think we got as far as... No, I think we did do alignment. We did. I remember enjoying it. And build your profession. Okay, so I don't think we looked at many of the professions, so I'm kind of interested to check that out. And then there's a section on skills. We definitely didn't look at that yet. Talents, I want to see what those are. So it looks like we're going to be checking out a lot of character stuff still. Trappings. Ooh, combat. I do want to dive into combat. So think what we're going to do for this read through, we'll take a look at some of the bits and pieces of the character stuff that we missed. And then I want to have a lot of this video will probably focus on combat. I want to understand the combat in this game. I want to know how the combat works. So that's probably what we're going to focus on for this. Hazards and healing, probably want to understand that. There's a magic section, it looks like, so we definitely want to check that out. Okay, and then we've got an appendix, index, and we're good to go. So I'm going to be doing chapter 4 on. If you want to take a look at the stuff that is the previous things, I'll add a link for the part 1 into the doobly-doo, and we'll go from there. But for this one, I'm just going to start looking at, I'm going to briefly go over the professions and the skills and stuff, learn a bit more about the characters, but I think the biggest thing that we're going to focus on is the mechanics of combat, because I don't know how combat works in this game yet, but I want to understand it. Some of my things that I'm thinking about is this a system? I'm expecting it to be very gritty and potentially painful. I'm wondering if this is a system where you can do, let me rephrase that. I'm wondering, is this a system where splitting the party is going to be like a huge detriment, that we see in some systems? Or is it the case where this is a more, it can handle more narrative? Basically, does it have an action economy is really what I'm trying to say here. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts before we jump in. Let's see. Ooh, we love it when a document has the hyperlinks. Oh, when I was looking at this on Roll20 in the compendium, right, like it doesn't have the full layout and stuff. I do like a lot of this layout. It's very cool. Okay. You'll generally assume that the GM will hand out between 500 or 50 and 100 reward points to each player at the end of each game session. Okay, so it has like a fixed progression. I don't love fixed progression. I find that actually I like fixed progression when it's needed for balance. I do enjoy systems that will how to put this, that try something different, like advancement through use, or systems that use, for example, more focused requirements, like if you do this during the session you get XP. But let's take a look. Let's see what's going on here. So you get advances. There's professional traits. You pick up a unique knack for your profession. Each profession just has one professional trait. Okay. Skill ranks. You can gain training and raw bonuses to your skills, otherwise referred to as apprentice, journeyman, masters. Okay, for each skill rank you get plus 10 base chance to use that skill. That's cool. That reminds me a little bit of Mothership. Or maybe Mothership reminds me of this. Who knows? Okay. Oops. Clicked off the page. You can grow your primary attribute bonus, rewarding with you +1 bonus each time you purchase a bonus advance. For example, if you have a CB, I don't remember what CB is. I think it's combat bonus. Oh, you can purchase a bonus advance in combat and it's not 5. Yep. Cool. Talents, you gain knacks or special abilities which either augment a way in which a skill can be used or provide a new option to your character. So talents are kind of like the different abilities, it sounds like. You previously received 1,000 reward points during character creation. They must be spent to customize your character before you can begin gameplay. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. A tier is measurement of competence, profiling characters' experiences over the course of a campaign. Each tier represents a collection of choices you've made. In Zweihander, there are 3 tiers: basic, intermediate, and advanced. Before you enter a tier, you must improve certain characteristics and complete all of your professions required training. Okay, that's neat. However, as you move from the basic into the intermediate tier and then into advanced, you may grow in ways more appropriate to the story and narrative, customize your character into someone truly unique. Each tier has a certain number of required advances a character must have before moving on. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So let's see. So it talks about the different tiers here. So the basic tier, when you first start out in your profession, you're already in the basic tier. So you can buy your professional trait for 100 reward points. If you are a starting character, or if you're starting character creation in the basic tier, you also get 1 iconic trapping. For example, surgical tools for a barber surgeon, horse for an outrider. Okay, so you get a thing. And then you can spend the remaining reward points in the basic tier. So you should have 900 reward points remaining before you begin your first play session. Spend them however you want. Okay. I do like that the professions nicely keep everything cohesive for what you're trying to advance in. Okay, so you have your intermediate tier. Let's learn what this is about. The intermediate tier represents a new chapter for your character. The intermediate tier is where you begin to be challenged in new ways. You'll move into a new profession and adopt its related techniques as you gain reward points. So you're going to select a second profession. That's cool. When moving into the new profession, you continue to draw from your past, and so you never lose your old abilities or traits. Nice. And before moving into the intermediate tier, you should pursue the professions that are within your archetype to get an idea of which one you wish to enter. Okay. Providing is within the same archetype, you may move freely into any other profession. Okay. For instance, perhaps you're a sellsword, then you can consider becoming a man-at-arms. Okay. It's assumed that all professions by archetype share a common bond of training, so it's fairly trivial to move between them. Okay. So it keeps you roughly in the same spot. And then should you elect to move into an expert profession or another regular profession outside your archetype, the GM must sanction the switch. Your GM may also require characters to possess an iconic trapping to move into their second profession. Okay. I'm curious to see how that works. Like, I would like to know when should and shouldn't the GM do that? You know, just thinking out loud there. And then you can buy professional traits. You can spend 200 reward points to enter your second profession. Okay. And then you can spend 200 reward points in the intermediate tier. So what kind of things can you do with this? You can get skills. Again, makes sense. Bonus advances for your primary attributes. And there's talents. Then you get the advanced tier. It's the final chapter of your character's adventuring life. Okay. You should take some time to consider the events, blah, 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 blah. You can freely select any profession within the same archetype. It's assumed that all professions by archetype share a common bond. Okay, similar again. GM has to approve it. Okay, so it sounds like it's a similar experience. And it's 300 reward points in there. I'm going to assume, again, similar. What's going on the right here? Okay. They have a little blurb here on the different options and how many options there are. So let's see what they have to say about that. Zweihander provides a wealth of options for players to consider. This decision can be a bit overwhelming to players new to the system. We encourage you to select your second and third professions based on the progress of the story and how it relates to your character's personality. Okay. I like that, although I do also want it to say a bit more and be like, well, like I want the game to be, to not just suggest it, but to, you know, enforce it. Actually gonna just do a little, there we go. Camera wasn't quite centered. While some players may wish to plot out their entire character's path of growth ahead of time, we discourage this sort of behavior. We openly advocate that you set aside any predetermined notions about the best build and discuss other traditional approaches for min-maxing your character's abilities. Okay, that's fair. I'm balancing in my mind, you know, what it means for a game to suggest something and for a game to enforce something, because they're different things, and it's often the case where suggestions can be forgotten, so, or left aside or ignored. So I wonder how essential it is to have this happen. Like if you just bounce around wildly, I think it would be fine. I think if you just had a player at the table who's like, I'm gonna go here, here, and then here. I hope that works. Anyway, so just a thought there as I'm taking a look at that. Buying skill ranks outside of your profession. Okay, so it looks like you can do that. I'm not going to read the details on that. I kind of want to go through this quicker rather than slower. Professions. Let's see. This is what I want to see. I want to take a look at some professions here. Okay, so it's alphabetical. What do we have? What's going on? What is this? The adherent. Oh my. There's some flavor text here. Let's read this. Many grow flinty with age, hardened and worn by their faith in chastity. Each holy order is different, but all advocates peace, charity, and temperance while casting aside violence, greed, and luxury. A rare few, though, profess aberrant views, worshipping darker gods with profane names best left unspoken in polite company. I like that. Such adherents take great measures to hide their true allegiance, secreting themselves into cults where sex magic, sacred prostitution, and ritual sacrifice are accepted as forms of worship. Spicy. Sex magic. I don't think I've ever played or read a game where they've referenced sex magic. Monster Hearts has sex moves, but this is sex magic. Wild. Okay, let's see what kind of things we have for the adherent. So long as an adherent makes no attempt to harm another, they are above reproach. But those who walk in bloodstained clothes with a sword at their waist may send the wrong message, allowing others to ignore the adherent's pacifist ways. Any creature that is classified as a humanoid, including player ancestry, suffer a -20 base chance to strike you with attacks until you initiate violence towards them or their allies. Oh my god, I like that. That's a very cool ability. I like the idea that this character could, You know, you always wonder in RPGs, is there a pacifist route? Because so many are built around killing and stuff. I like this. This is kind of neat. Special trait, divine magic. The effect is you are solely a practitioner of divine magic. As a consequence, you may never adopt a profession which has arcane magic as a special trait. Okay, so you're about the divine. In addition, you immediately learn 3 generalist magic spells when you enter this profession. If you gain divine magic from a previous profession, you learn an additional generalist magic spell instead. Drawback, Lure of Power. Whenever you generate a phase 6 with a chaos dice, you invoke a chaos manifestation. Okay. Let's see. So here are the different advances that you can get. You can get Charm, Education, Folklore, Handle Animal, Heal, Incantation, Resolve, Rumor, Scrutinize, Simple Melee. You can advance FB, FB, IB, IB, PB, WB, WB. I don't remember what the acronyms are. My bad. And then the talents are Impervious Mind, Indifference, and Multilingual. That's neat. I like how the professions are built up. They kind of feel like life paths a little bit. Oh my god, the Anarchist. I love this art. Animal Tamer. Let's just we'll stop at any that we think are interesting. Astrologer. Ooh, arcane magic. That's neat. I'm curious to see how the there's the barber surgeon. The art is very cool. Love the artist. A bagger. I'm just enjoying looking at the different characters for each profession. A buccaneer. A burglar. Ooh, a cultist. A diabolist. Spooky stuff. A doomsayer. Ooh, what does the engineer have? Let's check out the engineer. I'm checking out the engineer because I have an engineering degree. That's my tie to this. Eureka! You may flip the results to succeed at tradecraft tests. When you succeed, it is always considered a critical success. In addition, you always succeed at skill tests to locate resources needed for construction. You're really good at building stuff. You come with awareness, coordination, drive, education, folklore, scrutinize, simple range, survival, tradecraft, and warfare. Excuse me. Let's see what we have. What is a fop? Some people just possess a certain je ne sais quoi, a particular charm and affection for magnificence. I've never heard fop before. It sounds dirty. I said it. Grave robber. I like the disparity that goes between them. Like, one is a knight and one's a beggar. I really do like the idea. One thing about Zweihander that I think I've come around to is that this game seems to be set up such a way that rolling for a character does make sense. And previously, I've been very against rolling for characters because it just seems like in some games you roll for characters and you just end up with huge disparities. But I like the idea that these characters come from really, unique backgrounds, and it's more a matter of being like, working with what you have. And I like the idea that randomness sort of eliminates biases. Matthew in the chat says, "Fop is like a charisma bard. It's also a derogatory term for gay people." Well, that's awkward. Oops. How derogatory? I feel like I would have heard that. Alas. Anyways. Ooh, jester. I've always wanted to play a jester in a game. Okay, Matthew says it's like a 4.5 out of 10 for derogatory, so relatively derogatory. A jester's abilities, you can flip the results to succeed at coordination tests. When you succeed, it is always considered a critical success. Okay, so similar to the other one. I would love actually to play a jester in a game, now that I really think about it. They get skills in athletics, coordination, disguise, folklore, gamble, guile, rumor, scrutinize, simple range, skullduggery. Ooh. I like the idea of rumor being a skill. And gamble and guile. This is my jam. This is my jam. Laborer. He is buff. Monks. Lots of cool professions. I like... Oh, a peasant. If I'm not going to be a jester, I'm going to be a peasant. This is neat. A preacher. Ooh, a prostitute. Okay, I'm either going to be a peasant, a jester, or prostitute. This is under the false assumption that you can pick your profession. In reality, I think I would roll. I think I would... You know what? Yeah, I would roll. It's tough for me to trust again after certain games have led me astray with their, roll for stats. Moment of silence there. Matthew in the chat says the prostitute's special ability is really strong. The effect is, the full multi. Prostitutes use suggestive body language or skate acts and innuendo to convince others to do their bidding. Ooh, it's like May from Westworld. All skill ranks you acquire in the charm skill modify your base chance by +20 instead of +10. Oh, wow. Interesting. In addition, when you perform acts of carnal knowledge with another, you both get lucky, gaining 1 fortune point each to personally use. This benefit cannot be given or gained more than once per day. This is neat. I do enjoy games which include, sex workers, and I think that is good to have them, especially since a lot of people that are playing games are adults and can handle this, mature content. I feel like the skills that they could have, like, what are you going to roll for sex? Anyways, I'm just saying. Maybe there should be a sex skill in the game. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways. Enough of that. There's the provocateur. Rat catcher. Reeve. Smuggler. Ooh, smuggler. Hans shot first. A little Star Wars reference there. Oh, a valet. A vigilante. A watchman. Ooh, expert professions. I'm curious to see. So, unlike regular professions, expert professions have specific requirements in order to enter them. Those which gain access to magic are indicated with an asterisk beside its name. Expert professions are arranged alphabetically. So you can have an archmage, of course. I like the art there as well. You must possess at least 2 skill ranks in incantations, or 2 there, in order to enter this expert profession. In addition, you must have the special trait for arcane magic. Finally, you must sacrifice 1 fate point upon entering this profession. Okay. And then you get a bunch of cool stuff there. Assassin, an augur. Whoa. Damn, girl. Oh my god. I feel like these expert professions are so much more intense. The art, though, is still, like, stunning. A chattel slaver. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways. I'm just sort of, like, going through and seeing demagogue. Politicians and bureaucrats. Okay. The drowned one. You're from the sea. That's cool. Some of these are very flavorful. Ooh, a druid. I really enjoy playing druidy things. Elementalist. Oh wait, what is this ability? A dungeoneer has Gygaxian naturalism. I like the little references in here. They're nice. The explorer. Okay, well, that art seems to be based off of someone. A pulp hero. Alright, well, Indiana Jones is in this book. A funerary mage? Oh my god. Okay. I'm done with the professions now. Let's... Ooh. Very cool. A plague doctor. Very spooky. Also, what is that? What is he holding? A pyromancer? Oh my gosh. This is neat. This is neat. I like all the different content that's in here. So my thoughts so far, I'm just sort of like going through and taking a look at these at a high level and like quickly, but it's very cool to see all the different content that's actually in here. Like there's a lot. Writing all this out, wow, that's impressive. In the chat, how many professions are there? There are, okay, let me take a quick look. I'm almost on page 200. And let's see, chapter 4, where did chapter 4 start? There was like a, there was a list. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many. So these are the non-expert professions. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 20, 30, 40. Looks like there's about 80 of just the normal professions. I'd say there's about half as many expert ones. So it looks like over 100, so like 120 total. Which is really quite impressive. Oh god. Okay, let's hop back to page 200. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, I like this art. The art is not in the style that you might see of like a high fantasy color illustration, but I still like it anyways. It gives a good picture and I like it. Skills. Okay, let's see. I'm probably going to do the same thing here where I'm just like, okay, what are the skills? Blah, blah, blah. Cool, nice. Quite a few skills in this game. This is interesting. How do these focuses work? What does a focus do? Does it say that? Focuses, okay. All skills possess several focuses, reflecting a particular knack in its use. While it doesn't necessarily encapsulate every way you can use a skill, they highlight its most common aspects. Whenever you use a skill with its focus and synergy, you may ignore penalties your character is currently suffering due to your peril condition track. You may possess more than one focus and a skill, however, you can never have more focuses than your current intelligence bonus. That means if your intelligence bonus was 7, you may only ever possess 7 focuses. As your character grows, so will your intelligence bonus, so on and so forth. Okay, that's neat. So it just helps you out when you have penalties going on. Lots of skills, though. Interesting. I always find a game interesting where it's like, these are the things that are available. I actually tend to be a person who likes games where there's an endless skill list. Like, it can just go on, like, anything can be a skill that sounds like it could be a skill. But that's tough to put into a game sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing where I don't want to look at too many skills, to be honest. Like, they're not super interesting to dive into. Like, let's look at the alchemy one here. So this lets you do different alchemist stuff. So a really easy thing, identifying an unknown alchemical substance. Something that's challenging is creating 3 doses of deliriance, draughts of laudanum or shots of gunpowder. Okay. So, pretty good set of skills. Yeah, I'm just gonna, oh my goodness. This art. Wild. Yeah, not gonna worry too much about the skills. They seem like they'd be, more self-explanatory than anything. Okay, and then you get talents. These I want to take a look at. I want to see what some of these are about, especially the magic ones. How to use talents. Unlike skills, talents do not require any forethought to employ. They're innate abilities that act as riders. Once your character's gained a talent, it becomes part of them. Okay, let's see what some of these do. There's quite a few. I am curious to know. So, in a lot of these games where there's so many like this, it can be tough to balance them. I'm curious to know what that is like. Okay. Let's take a look at some. Ambidexterity. You never suffer penalties when using tools or weapons in either hand. If you ever suffer an injury where you cannot use your primary hand, you do not suffer penalties to use your offhand. Okay. Ethereal alignment. When attempting a counterspell, you get a plus 20 base chance to succeed. Battle magic. Foes who are made subject to your magics must spend 1 additional action point to properly counterspell. In addition, you penalize your foe's ability to resist your magics by a minus 10 base chance. Okay. These sound like, you know, nice little abilities that add on to your character. I think that's cool. I do find that sometimes these get a little bit cumbersome with how many there are, but it sounds like they're limited based off of which profession you take. So I think that is a cool way to balance it out, line it up. What else do we have going on here? Okay. Cool art again. Trappings. This is like your equipment section. I'm gonna keep going. How long have we been up for? I don't actually have that on my stream right now. Okay, almost an hour. So what we're gonna do, I want to keep going. I want to dive into combat and magic to get that figured out and understand what's going on there. So I'm gonna skip the equipment section. I don't need to worry about how the equipment works. It's whatever. Combat. Okay, what is combat like in this game? What's going on here? So you have turns, you have actions. Actions are formalized choices a character makes to change the outcome of combat. Each action has a cost in action points, which must be expended before it can be taken. Okay. The initiative ladder decides the order in which all the characters resolve their actions. When the GM announces combat is about to unfold, each character involved must roll generating their own initiative ladder results by rolling 1d10 and adding their initiative from the character sheet. So normal initiative roll like that. Fury dice. Throughout this chapter, you'll see mention of a 1d6 Fury die to generate damage with melee and ranged weapons. Anytime you roll for damage and generate to phase 6, add an additional 1d6 so the dice explode. For example, you could get a 6 and explode into another d6. That's cool. I've seen games where d6 will explode a whole bunch of times. It'll just be like pop, 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 and then you've suddenly got, 18 plus a d6 on top of that. Because of the wild and varied nature of combat, there may be situations that crop up from time to time that aren't covered in these rules. In addition, some actions in combat may have fixed difficulty ratings. Much like any ruling in Zweihander, the GM will make the final call to change when needed to fit the situation. Oops. I don't like this little blurb here that much, so I'm going to be a little bit critical here for a second. It says, although turns introduce a more uniform way to handle actions, it should never hinder roleplay. I disagree with that and say that when you come up with a turn-by-turn structure like this, it does hinder the narrative because things in a narrative don't happen one after the other in a nice board game-esque style. So I'm a little bit critical of that personally. If the game wants it to stay narrative, I want it to give me things that will make it narrative in the combat. So there's a surprise turn. I'm not worried about that. The initiative ladder, again, not worried about that. So then you take your turns. Okay, this is what I want to dive into. What is a turn? What's in a turn? Suddenly it's your turn. What will you do? Will you boldly rush forward invoking the name of Count so-and-so? All characters begin with 3 action points at the start of their turn, which are then spent to commit their actions as their turn comes up within the initiative ladder. If a game is trying to be very crunchy, I do like the idea of action points. You're not required to spend all of these on your turn. You can hold on to them so that you can dodge or parry. By that same token, a character cannot simply elect to carry over action points to their next turn. When you begin a new turn, all of your remaining ones are lost, and you start with the normal 3. Okay. Ooh, in character talk during combat. I'm curious to see what it says about this, because this is... some people are a little bit touchy about it, and I don't think they should be. Players may elect to speak using banter, jibes, insults, or scream battle cries and obscenities whilst taking their turn. This sort of communication is generally limited to short sentences or expressions, and it should be done in character. While we encourage players to work together, it is best to let each make their own decisions as to what actions to take. Yep. Lording it over other players and telling them what actions to use during a game session can create confusion, breaks down the barriers between the player's voices and in-character's voice, and limits the ability of the players to become more familiar with the Zweihander rules and quickly erodes the suspension of disbelief. Yeah, I mean, to me it's just like, let people do their turns because that's respectful, but I like that it's laid out in more detail because that detail can be helpful. Combat can last for one or many turns. When the enemy is clearly slaughtered, gives up, or some other mitigating condition arises, the GM will announce it. So that's another question. Does combat end in this game when people die? Is that the end goal? Is the end goal death quite frequently? Is the easiest thing to do in combat to kill? Personally, I'm over games where that is the case. Some people might like that. When it comes to physical combat, I've been interested in games lately where people fight until one side is no longer able to fight and then they get what they want, kind of thing. Anyways, just some thoughts. Okay, actions in combat. What actions do we have available? Oh, there's a nice little reference chart. Isn't this good? Charge, you can charge your movement times 2. You can get up. So you got movement actions, attack actions. You can make a melee attack, a ranged attack, a called shot. Okay. Okay. This is neat. I like this. I like what's going on here. Reactions, just listed at the bottom. Okay. This does seem like it's a combat system, which is, I don't want to say similar to Dungeons and Dragons, but it's maybe more similar than, for example, what you might see in a Powered by the Apocalypse combat system. Okay. I'm not going to go through all the... My assassins in Diablo used to use that weapon all the time. Looks like there's some stunts. It's nice that they lay out how to disarm and knock out. Okay. So here are the steps when you want to attack. You have to figure out which weapon you're using, the total chance for success. You make the attack, the enemy defend, you roll damage, you determine the damage condition, you determine the injury. Okay. Excuse me. I'm just sort of... Okay, it has some little blurbs here to summarize it up. So Leopold Coventry is ready to attack the footpad. Unfortunately, his target is standing among Leopold's allies. This will make it particularly difficult to get a shot and require an extreme position. Should he critically fail, Leopold will strike down one of his own allies. Oh my goodness. The GM determines his difficulty rating is hard, minus 20%. You make the attack. Adding up all the modifiers, Leopold Coventry's total chance for success is 25% or below. Rolling the dice, he comes up with a 24, barely succeeding, but still strikes the footpad. If he had rolled 26 or above, he would have failed. Okay. So it sounds like it lines up with the what we've seen so far as skill checks. Leopold Coventry is instead hit by a ranged weapon thrown by the footpad, which is to dodge out of the way. Fortunately, because the footpad's difficulty rating to attack was hard, Leopold's difficulty rating to dodge is easy. The opposite. Okay. And then you roll damage. So Natasha Steeple successfully strikes with her rapier, which has the finesse quality, meaning she refers to AB in damage instead of CB. Her AB is 3, and she rolled a 1d6 fury die, resulting in phase 6. Natasha now adds 1d6 fury die, generate another 6. Whew. She rolls yet another fury die, resulting in a 3. She inflicts 18 total damage. Then you calculate damage thresholds. Okay, this is where I'm curious to see, like, is this a game that uses HP? It's been a while since I did my read-through before, and I don't remember. A defender always takes into consideration their damage threshold when they suffer damage. It is derived from two sources. One is an instinctive drive, regardless of whether they're aware of they're being attacked or not. Okay. The cutthroat is wearing quilted armor, which has a damage threshold modifier of 1. He has a brawn bonus of 6, thus his total is 7. If the total damage is equal to or below the damage threshold, nothing happens. Okay. If it exceeds, the defender moves 1 step down the damage track. If it exceeds 6+, they move 2 steps, or 3, or you are instantly slain if you beat their damage threshold by 18. Okay. So it tells you how many steps you move down. Oh my goodness. I don't think that is not what a ribcage looks like. I don't want to look at that picture anymore. We can still see his face. And then you determine the injury. Okay. Oh, and then there's injury charts. So I'm gonna get my dice out. Let's roll a moderate injury. I almost dropped a bunch of cards on the ground. This one. Okay. Moderate injury. We rolled a 2. Fortune's Mercy. Ignore the injury, keep your fate point, and continue fighting onwards. Aren't we lucky? Okay. I like that there's different injuries. Ooh, and grievous injuries. Let's roll a grievous injury. 31. A detached ear. Until fully recuperated, you cannot use any weapon. Oops, I'm reading the wrong one. Until fully recuperated, you cannot hear as you're in pain. You must undergo a successful surgery or suffer the consequences. Once a detached ear has undergone a failed surgery, you suffer the crop ear drawback. If you already have this drawback, you permanently lose 9% perception. Oh my goodness. Gods be damned if you're going out like that. When you're facing certain death, you can politely tap the shoulder of whatever god or abyssal prince who watches over you to intervene on your behalf. At any point in time when you feel it's appropriate during your game session, even outside of combat, you may sacrifice 1 fate point to save yourself from being slain to ignore any one injury. Following the sacrifice, your GM may simply allow your character to soldier on or have them fall unconscious. Okay. Ooh, final note. Let's see what the conclusion is on combat that they suggest. Combat in Zweihander is designed to be exciting, riveting, and brutal. A variety of dynamic circumstances can rapidly change the battlefield conditions, presenting all new challenges that require you to use skill tests beyond making attacks. I like that. You can use them to your advantage, such as leaving behind cover and using it to impede your enemy's attacks against you. Other times, these conditions can impose incredible difficulty upon all characters, such as inclement weather, rendering ranged weapons useless. Ask your GM about the environment you're fighting in for opportunities they may pose. Okay. I do like games which allow players to get a little bit more involved in being like, I want to roll to say what the environment is like and that kind of stuff, but here we are. Oh, some anatomy. Hazards and healing. I like that it is in depth on this. Is that? Oh my goodness. I don't like that picture. Okay. We don't care about hazards and healing because we want to get on to magic. Magic art. Okay, what do we have here? Ooh, we have this is, I recognize some of these symbols. Mercury. There's a bunch of alchemical-y-ish ones. Iron is on here. Neat. Grimoire. Okay. There's a lot going on here. I just want to see some spells. Or rules. Sounds like it's describing the different types of magics. Divine magic. Okay. Oh. Okay. Ooh, petty magic. Where's our sex magic? Okay. Cast magic overview. That's what I want. You select a magic spell. You channel the power, you determine the results, you roll the chaos die, and you unfetter the spell. Generalist and petty magic has a fixed difficulty rating of routine. Lesser is standard and greater is challenging. In combat, they do some other stuff. Okay. Channel the power. Looks like you roll your test and then you do a chaos dice. In the chat, you know how in some card games it's in the meta to try and cheat? Do you know of any RPGs that have this as a mechanic, like trying to FUD rules being part of the game? I do know what you're talking about. Like, Cheat is the card game that comes to mind. I can't think of an RPG where you are trying to... Oh, like a Liar's Dice one. I'm trying to think. I know that when people play Paranoia, which is a comedy RPG, it just gets really ridiculous and people will like go, ooh. Okay, I have a thought on one that might be along those lines. Anyways, Paranoia is a comedy one. It usually gets really ridiculous. Doesn't quite fit, though. One that I am thinking of is Dogs in the Vineyard. It's a betting. It uses a betting mechanism. Like it's most similar, I'd say, to poker. Although Dogs in the Vineyard, I think, is out of print and not easy to find. It's also a very niche concept. It's around, I'm pretty sure it's about these investigators that go to this like Mormon town and they're trying to suss out evil or something. Anyways, but that one does have a very cool mechanic where you are bidding and trying to like one up. Like it's a very poker-esque, and you have like what you actually have to bid is secret, so it's very poker based. I don't think I know of any others though. I'm sure there are some. I'll think on that. That's what I can think of so far though. Okay, let's see what else we got for casting magic. Step 2, we channel the power. I feel like I need to, okay, good. There's a nice, I love it when it has the little blurbs that talks about the examples. Those are perfect. That is exactly what I need because that's what I want. Grover Caldwell is attempting to cast a petty magic spell. He currently faces arduous incantation test. He decides to channel power, raising the difficulty by 2 steps. This moves it from arduous to challenging, while suffering 2 corruption. However, Grover must roll 2d6 chaos dice after making his incantation test. You determine the results. Okay. And blah, 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 blah. I just want to see some spells. Give me some spells. What do the chaos dice do? What's going on here? I'm getting all over the place. Okay. I don't want to go too in detail on the magic now. I just want to see some spells. Okay. Ooh, bewitched. With a simple rhyme and object in hand, you can call forth a terrible hex to befall the object's keeper. Distance. Okay. Duration. Ooh. After successfully casting the spell, the object you touch is bewitched. Whenever another carries this object, they suffer an irritating curse, such as flatulence, hiccups, pimples, warts, or otherwise innocuous but annoying effects. That's fun. As a consequence, the cursed suffers a -10 base chance to all fellowship-based skill tests while the object remains in their possession. A foe cannot be made subject to the effect of more than one curse at a time. As above, critical success is as above, but the curse instead suffers a -20 base chance. Oh, that's neat that it comes with critical success and failure for the spells. Critical failure, your magic backfires in the worst way imaginable. An object on your person is cursed instead, as you suffer a -20 base chance to all fellowship-based skill tests. Oh my goodness. You don't know which object has been bewitched without the use of further magic. Oh my gosh. Magic sounds fun. Lots of cool spells. Okay. And then some... Oh, are these divine magics? I missed this. Oh, this is generalist. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the arcane ones and what's going on here. So, not that many spells. Oh, these are spells of animism. There's different sections, it looks like. Astromancy. Oh, that's cool. Different schools of magic. Call lightning. Ooh. Let's read this one. After successfully casting the spell, your foe suffers 1d10 plus WB in damage and are knocked prone. Your foe can successfully resist with a coordination test. Ooh. It's a neat little spell. Just blast someone with lightning. Okay. Some shadowmancy, sorcery, transmutation. This is pretty neat. I like how the spells are just grouped into like petty, lesser, greater, and such. That appeals to me. There's a lot of content here. Like, I can't keep up with all of it. Someone could really, you know, read this game and enjoy a lot of stuff in it. My goodness. Oh, and then there's prayers. Okay. Let's read a prayer. Not a real prayer, a one in the book. Let's read Frostbite. Prayers of the Winter King. I like that. Effect. After successfully casting this spell, your foe immediately drops one step down the peril condition track negatively. In addition, they cannot counterspell, dodge, or pray for the spell's duration. I do have one criticism. I don't like spells where it's like, during this effect, you can't do these things, or basically things that you have to remember. Because the thing I've noticed in role-playing games is that things tend to be forgotten easily, unless otherwise. So, I'm a little bit hesitant when I see stuff like that where, you know, it's like a oh and or a but, you know, things you have to remember. Lots of cool stuff though. Okay. Ooh, Witchstone. So it looks like there's some magic items, talismans, rituals. There is a lot. Oh my goodness. Oh, and then we're into the reference sheets. Index. Cool. You know what? Okay. Oh, here's the character sheet. Let's take a quick look at the character sheet. I don't know if I did this in Roll20. Looks like you've got, you know, character description stuff, your alignment between order and chaos, different stuff going on there. You have all your different things, your skill ranks, focuses, peril. Okay. So let's have some conclusions. You know, we did a part 1 where we got to acquaint ourselves with a lot of the Zweihander stuff in Roll20. The Roll20 compendium is very cool, and I really enjoyed taking a look through. Some of the things I enjoyed in the PDF specifically is the art is cool. A lot of the concepts are cool. I think my big takeaway is there's a lot of content. Like, it's comprehensive, I would say. There's a lot there. You're not going to get bored I think for Zweihander, if you invested the effort into figuring out in the capacity that you want to. So for example, for me, I like to understand games and all the different parts that they have. I like to get all cylinders firing. So that usually means it's a little bit more buy-in. It can last quite a while. I think this game has a lot going on in it, which is cool. I think there's some things that make it feel very gamey. Like when I see initiative and rounds and action points. Those are good in some senses, but I do find that they can. I find sometimes they can slow things down more than I'm comfortable with. I like very fast-paced things. That being said, it does sound like combat is very intense in this system, so that's something to keep in mind. Overall, I think my conclusions on Zweihander are that I would like it if someone guided me through it. I would like it if someone who had already done the work was like, let me teach you, because this player's handbook is a lot of content, but it is nearly 400 pages long. A lot of it was stuff that was content, but a lot of it was also stuff that was highly related to actually playing the game. But I'm just thinking a little bit about how the game does skill checks and stuff. I don't quite remember the details of it, but I remember liking bits and parts of it. Yeah, so I think my conclusion is for Zweihander. I don't think I have the bandwidth to read the Gamemaster stuff and figure it out myself. But I would like to try it. I would like to play a character. It's a game that I think looks pretty cool. I do enjoy games that are grim and perilous. That appeals to me. I like games that are tough and about making tough choices and about that. As far as any other thoughts, I think that's about it. So what we're gonna do is, since I'm recording this live on Twitch, I'm gonna upload it to YouTube later, but we'll get a raid set up. So hang around if you're interested. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that checking out some of this stuff has given you a better impression of Zweihander and what it's about. Again, thanks to Daniel Fox for actually providing me with this PDF so I could actually go through it and take a look. It was cool to see, and I think there's some fun stuff in here. And with that, I'm gonna get the raid set up here, and we shall see y'all later.